Because if I only think that there's three possibilities and I understand those three, and then something good happens, I give credit to one of those three things. And that's wrong.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. I have Neuro Coffee in hand, and it is perfect. Man, that is really good. Wow. If you weren't on the iFastU call yesterday, you really missed out on a good one. Had a really great group of people. Great questions coming through. We solved a lot of issues, I think, where there's little points of confusion in regards to talking about the model and how we apply it. So make sure you go to ifastuniversity.com, get yourself signed up so you don't miss out on the next call. Today's Q&A is with Ankoor. This talk was totally different. This was deeply philosophical. We talked about probabilities. We talked about how to use ego to your advantage and not to your disadvantage. What is happiness? How to manage issues from the past. So deeply philosophical. So very different. Kind of caught me off guard a little bit. It was a little uncomfortable, but it turned out to be a really good discussion. So I hope you find this useful. If you would like to participate in a 15-minute consultation, please go to askbillhartman@gmail.com. Askbillhartman@gmail.com. Put 15-minute consult in the put 15-minute consultation in the subject line so I don't delete it, and we will arrange that at our mutual convenience. Everybody have a terrific Tuesday, and I will see you tomorrow.
We are recording and the clock has started. What are your questions?
Yes, sir. So my first question is that you had said that young Bill Hartman was very stubborn and arrogant, and he used to think that he knows it all. And now, so when you say that after all these years of professional experience, you say that I just got lucky and it's all a game of probability, and you have such an incredible model to your name. And so how did life teach you this? So how did you arrive at this stage? And the thing is, what drives you every day? After so many years of experience, what drives you every day to wake up to learn, upgrade your model, and to constantly work?
Okay, so that's a lot all at once, isn't it? So let's go with this piece by piece. Okay, let's talk about the probability thing. So the probability thing is recognizing the fact that there are so many things that we don't know, and I think that there's an element of a desire to want to know, and then to have a limited perspective on what is actually possible and what is actually happening, and then how much of an effect do we have on all of that? Like, what can we influence? And I think that the younger version of ourselves, because of the limited scope of perspective, it implies that we know something that we don't. Because if I only think that there's three possibilities, and I understand those three, and then something good happens, I give credit to one of those three things. And that's wrong. So by living a life and having experience, what you start to recognize is there's a lot more influences than we ever thought were possible or that we could ever understand. And so the mature representation is that, okay, I can affect certain things, I can influence certain things, and then there's more unknowns than I could possibly imagine that I do not influence. And so what I try to do now is I try to manage those things that I do have an influence over, and then I observe and I look at the outcome and I say, was this favorable? If yes, I try to do more of what we just did. And if it's a no, then I have to change something, knowing full well that I may not have the solution when it comes to doing something else. However, I do have experience. And so I fall back on that. It's like, so in the past, when this situation arose, what did I do that was successful? And so I lean on that to help me determine what to do next. So that's why we're playing probabilities, because we don't know what the answer is going to be. So maybe I have a 70% likelihood of being successful by following a certain intervention strategy, but I still have 30% against me, which means that both possibilities, a successful intervention or a failure, are always possible. Because I don't know so many things. And so 70% of the time, maybe I'm infinitely successful, and 30% of the time it's nowhere near what I would want it to be. And then everything kind of falls, somewhere along that line of probability. But that's how we do everything. And so again, it's like I just respect that. And so understanding that puts you in a place where your humility better kick in, because if you still think that you know something that you don't, that can lead to some arrogance, and then you're starting to put people at risk. So you're putting someone else at risk because I'm providing the intervention strategy, and I potentially put myself at risk, because if somebody doesn't like the outcome to such a degree and they decide that they don't like me enough, then I get in trouble.
Yeah. Speaking of arrogance, I have a question regarding, suppose this gradient model of yours. So how do you differentiate between self-confidence and ego? Is it in spectrum? Any overlapping? How do you?
Okay. So self-confidence comes from having been in a number of situations a number of times, and regardless of the outcome, knowing that you can recover. So you're an athlete, right?
No, I'm a coach.
Well, okay, but you played sports. Yes?
No, sir.
Never?
No, sir.
Okay. Have
No,
you
sir.
watched sports on TV?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay. So there are certain types of athletes that thrive in situations where there is a tremendous amount of unknown factors. Okay. And so they've been in tough situations before, and they have been successful after being in those difficult situations. From that comes self-confidence. So they are participating in an environment that is based on their strengths. And so they are able to apply those. And even in situations where the probability may be against them, again, we're playing probabilities again. So let's just go back to the 70-30 example. Let's say it's 70% against you of being successful, but there's a 30% chance that you will be successful. Those people that have been exposed to these environments, and they know what their capabilities are, and they're comfortable in this uncertainty, there's still a 30% likelihood that they'll be successful, and they're playing off of that. That's self-confidence, okay? Ego is a tool. Ego is a tool that we apply in certain situations that allow us to take advantage of our self-confidence. However, when ego is applied to the extreme, when it's outside of our capabilities, where we think that we are too important, or we think we are capable beyond what we have ever been able to demonstrate, right? Then it becomes dangerous, because that leads to arrogance. And then again, that's where the risk starts to increase. And then we put other people at risk under those circumstances. So for me to have this call with you, I have to have a certain degree of self-confidence. I have to apply an element of ego so I can express myself, so I can speak to you on a level that provides you something of value. But if I say that, oh, you wouldn't understand because it's so far beyond, what you could ever imagine, because I am so great, I am so good. One, you're unlikable. It doesn't help you, right? And so I would say that when you apply ego in the service of others, then it becomes useful. When you apply ego in the service of yourself, then it's not useful. So ego is a tool. It's something that you tune up and tune down based on the environment, based on the situation.
So what you mentioned, so do you carry the load of being Bill Hartman every day, or you just let it go?
There's no load. There's no load.
All the external validation that you get. So do you even
I don't
doesn't matter.
I don't value external validation. It doesn't
Exactly.
matter. It doesn't matter. I don't control that. I can't control what anyone else thinks of me. I can't control outcomes. So I just understand my place. But it took a long time to get here. It takes experience, interactions, failures, successes, but it's paying attention to it. I think there's some people that may lack the ability to pay attention to it, but there's no weight as to who I am. I will disappear from the face of the earth and I will be forgotten very quickly. And it won't matter.
This perspective. So I exactly had a question regarding this. So do you practice the attached yet detached thing? Like you are so invested time, energy, money wise in your craft, you're so good at it and you're developing it every day. But someday, if in a moment, if everything goes away, would you be still happy? Or
I'm very happy. I'm very happy right now. Everything, I don't want anything. So happiness is not like when you throw a party and like that's a moment of joy. Happiness is the spaces in between, right? Happiness is when you don't want for anything. So if I don't want anything, I'm very happy. If there's something that you desperately want, that's discomfort.
So you're superimposing joy on happiness, like ER.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Yes. Happiness is not the party. Happiness is the contentment and the sense of not having to want anything, right? If I don't want anything, there's no discomfort. It's the absence of want or desire, right? That's how I look at it.
What's your definition of success?
Again, getting to do what I want when I want to do it. Basically. And that comes and goes. It's not like an absolute and it's not static. It's like there are periods where there is success, and then there's periods where there is a lack of success. You have to understand this. It's like everything is dynamic. Everybody wants something to be like, they think that there's some sort of absolute, like somebody that has a lot of money or a lot of fame, like they're always happy. I got news for you. They get constipated just like everybody else in the whole wide world does. Right? Take that picture. Next time you see somebody that is supremely famous, put them in that level of discomfort and then view them from that perspective. And you go, oh, you're just like me. It's just that maybe at this moment in time, you have a little bit more money than me. Maybe you're just, you have some other talent that I don't have, but that's okay because I have other talents that you don't have. I'm the best me there is. You're the best you there is. And so focus on that. Don't try to be somebody else. It's a waste of time. You can't do it. It's not worth it. You have you're a very young person. You're a very young person. You have a lot of time, but that time as a representation of forever is very small. Take advantage of it. Be you. Be the best you.
Yes. And or is there something that you would like to change when you look back on your life?
No.
Beautiful the way it is.
Why would I ever be concerned with that? Time only goes in one direction.
Okay.
You learn from it, but you don't change it. So it gave me an opportunity. If I'm happy right now, everything that I've done so far has contributed to this moment of happiness. So let's not waste our time, right?
So I think the the fact that we are going to go away from this planet after a point of time, I think that feeling actually humbles people.
It should. It should. People waste it, but people waste it because they think that they automatically get tomorrow.
They take it for granted.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, this pandemic made us realize this. The virus doesn't differentiate between the rich and the poor.
I don't think it made us realize anything. I think it exposed us. It just let us see for ourselves what we really are, you know? So hopefully we learn from it. Young man, I hate to cut you off, but I got to go. Okay. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Have a great day.